TNtalk. Let us start the program with the invocation of the melodious Tamil Thai Varthu.
தெக்கணமும் அதிசிறந்த திராவிடனல் திருநாடும் தக்க சிறு பிறை முதலும் தரித்தனரும் திலகமுமே அத்திலக வாசனை போல் அனைத்துலகும் இன்பமுற எத்திசையும் புகழ் மணக்க இருந்த பெரும் தமிழனகே உன் சீரிலமை திறம் வியந்து செயல் மறந்து வாழ்த்துதுமே வாழ்த்துதுமே வாழ்த்துதுமே.
Thank you. TNtalk. TNtalk is the initiative of Government of Tamil Nadu aimed at disseminating knowledge and spreading ideas through a series of talks by eminent personalities in important domains. More than just a talk, TNtalk is a movement that celebrates intellect, curiosity, and the power of informed dialogue. Today, we are delighted to present before you two distinguished speakers for today's TNtalk. Put your hands together to welcome Mr. V.M Rajasekharan, the founder and chief consultant of businessclinique, and Professor T.R Govindarajan, visiting professor of Priya University. We welcome Mr. S. Vijayan, Vice President, South Chennai District, Tamil Nadu Science Forum. We welcome Dr. Neena Gayatri, the founder and the Chief Operating Officer of ACE Innovation, and we welcome all our wonderful audience. To begin with, may I invite both our speakers onto the stage for the felicitation ceremony. May I request Librarian and Information Officer, Mr. Raju, to felicitate our esteemed chief guest with a memento. May I request Mr. Vijayan and Dr. Neena Gayatri to join us on the stage during the felicitation ceremony. May I call upon Mr. Shivaperumal, Assistant Librarian and Information Officer of Anna Centenary Library, to felicitate our second speaker. Now may I call upon Dr. Neena Gayatri to welcome and introduce our speaker, Mr. V.M Rajasekharan.
A very good morning. A transformative force in the world of business coaching and mentorship. With a rich tapestry of experience that spans over 3 decades, he has become a beacon for senior executive and aspiring entrepreneurs alike. As the founder and chief consultant of Business Clinic, he is driven by a mission to navigate companies through the complexities of modern challenges, offering innovative and effective solutions tailored to diverse industries. His journey began after earning a chemical engineering degree in 1980, leading to pivotal roles in V.M Rubber and later a remarkable 32-year tenure at ITC Limited. Here he not only rose to the rank of CEO of the matches and agarbatti division, but also pioneered the principles of lean management and market expansion, shaping the landscape of both businesses since 2003. A mentor at IIT Incubation Center and a charter member of TAI, Chennai, he embodies the spirit of collaboration and growth, inspiring the next generation of leaders and entrepreneurs to reach their full potential. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. V. Rajasekharan for you. Simplicity, humility, in person. Sir, the stage is yours.
Morning. Yeah, can you hear me? Yeah, okay. Good morning. Thank you so much for reciprocating. Okay. I was invited to speak in this event by Dr. Neena, and she said this is a movement which is happening and they want to develop it on the lines of TED Talk, and there are a lot of initiatives. So, she asked me, what's the kind of topic I'd like to speak about. The Well, enough. Yeah? Okay, thank you. So she was asking me as to, what's the kind of topic I'd like to, the most relevant topic would have been to speak about how various businesses got developed on us on IDC. Well, I said, look here, I would like to broad base the whole conversation today. I'm calling it conversation because I don't want to be one way. I'll talk about for 15-20 minutes. After that, most welcome to ask me any questions and I'll try and answer. So I'm going to broad base this discussion to overall my experiences and my achievements and my interesting episodes in my life. Okay. To start with, our professional life, not only professional life, I think all our lives are broadly divided into 3 parts. One is childhood, the second is education, and the third one is your professional life. I'm not talking about your family life here, therefore, pardon me if I missed out that, but I think childhood, education, and profession. I think each one of us, if you can document the key milestones and turning points in each one of these periods, it will be a great thing for you as you look back. Because the reason why I'm saying this is because whatever happens to you today is because of what happened in the past. You'll be able to get to know what's happening. So this is the first thing. Second is, now I'm going to follow the same template for my talk today. I come from a place called Vellore. My father's a lawyer and my mother was a homemaker. Sister and brother-in-law are doctors. They live in the United Kingdom. I did my schooling in Vellore. And after my schooling, I had a dilemma whether I should do, I used to like the game of tennis, whether I should play tennis or, study seriously. So the studying option came through an admission in Loyola College, which was very good for tennis those days. So I decided to join. And then I also applied for some engineering colleges. And just before I was about to join, I got an admission in Annamalai University Engineering College. So my father straight away said, you go and join the engineering college. It's going to give you a better part of your life, some professional work. So I had no choice. So therefore, I went and joined the engineering college. Once I joined, that place was completely alien because having spent over 15, 16 years with my parents in Vellore and, in the comfort of the house and everything, you just dropped at a hostel which are completely aliens. Nobody knew me and I did not know anyone. So, and ragging was also there at the peak. So the life was difficult. So then, after about 3 to 4 months, I got used to the entire thing. Then I started liking the place. So when I stayed, then I managed to pass out from the university in 1980 with the first class. Okay, don't think I'm a distinction student or something else. In the sense I did have some hiccups. I tried to complete my engineering on time in 5 years those days. So now after 50 years, 75 is when I joined. Even now, some of us are still good friends, the guys whom I studied with. So this first beginnings, what is the story here? What happens to you is completely different from the way you plan it, right? So that's life. So therefore, I think the most important thing is don't expect things to happen the way you want it or the way you want to plan it. It doesn't happen that way. So just live with the tide, carry on with life, and do it. Okay, then after that, my professional career started. After I finished my engineering, those days, engineering graduates had a tough time getting jobs. I was not too sure they'll get a job at all. So after my college is over, I was in Vellore with my parents. I used to play tennis in the nearby tennis club. And one day I met a person. He said, I'm the general manager of a large company here in Ranipet, which is about 30-40 kilometers away from Vellore. He said, what are you doing? He said, sir, I've just finished my engineering. I'm chilling. I don't want to do anything for the thing. Yeah, how can you keep chilling? Why don't you come and meet me in my office? So that's how I went and met him. He said, join day after. So that was the time when jobs were difficult. When the guy calls me, there was no proper advertisement, nothing. So it happened that way. So I worked in that company for about I think in 1980 to 86, 6 long years. And I was in Ranipet, I was in Bombay doing market development. And then, again, what you planned did not happen. The person took me, and that experience proved valuable because the first 6 years is what told me what professional life is all about. Okay. Now, after that, I joined ITC in 1986 because obviously I looked at better career opportunities in a larger company. I joined them as a marketing guy. I was moved around I got transferred to Calcutta, to Baroda, and then came back to Chennai. I was heading the business in planning, technology, and marketing. This happened for quite some time. So as the years progressed, I got rounded as a person and handling various responsibilities. So during this process, I also took on additional responsibilities in the packaging and printing division of ITC. So I told you 1986 is when I joined ITC. 1996 is the time when we had got a new chairman. This person, Mr. Deveshwar, had different ideas about ITC. ITC, as you all are aware, is basically a company predominantly in cigarettes, hotels. So he said we should move it to a good consumer product company. So that's when we were exploring various opportunities. We got into foods, we got into confectionery, we got into biscuits, lots of companies. That's when I got a call from the chairman said, there are some more products which are very, very adjacent to what we are doing now. I'll tell you what adjacency is all about. So he said, why don't you look at agarbatti as a business? I said, sir, I don't know anything about it, in the sense, except for the fact that my mother used it for prayer. I don't know anything about it. So he said, so what? Go and learn about it. Okay, so I took a youngster who was just out of the management school. So both of us spent a couple of months in Bangalore trying to earn. Bangalore was the place where entire agarbatti industry was concentrated, and lots of companies were making agarbattis there. So we understood the business. So then we came back after 2 months and presented to the board of the company, saying that here, that time the size of the industry was about 1,000 crores. So we presented to the board saying that, yeah, it's a sizable opportunity, we can look at this. So that is the time when large companies were also trying to enter. So what happened was, here, we said, okay, let's start. So then don't worry about the starting point. You can always catch up in any situation. Don't worry if, we always get into a dilemma thinking, have we entered the situation late? It's not so. So you can enter any market or your own initiatives at any point in time and put your sincere effort behind it. You will win. So try new initiatives boldly. So this is what happened. So today, the agarbatti business, if you really see, is 2025 is now 205, almost about 20 years old. Today, between the agarbatti business and the matches business, we are doing over 1,000 crores. So a small beginning will lead to a large business or initiatives. So what happened was, very interesting things, in the agarbatti business. I mean, I can go on and on. I think the time allotted to me is about 20 minutes. So 2-3 anecdotes I'll give you. When we started the agarbatti business, we started doing the entire country was using the hand rolling process for making agarbatti. A lady could roll about 2 kgs of agarbatti in a day at those days. So that's the time when me and my team thought about it, and they were earning a paltry, 20 rupees a day type, So we said we should do something to improve their earnings. So we scouted around, we identified a machine, which was very much like a tailoring machine. It's like a pedal machine. You keep pedaling, you get the sticks, agarbatti coated sticks outside. So he said, okay, we bought 1,000 machines, let's invest in these machines, and went to rural Odisha, rural Assam, and gave these machines to them and asked them to make. So from 2 kgs per day, they were able to do 10 kgs per day. We have a huge jump in what they could produce. And it was giving opportunities for about 25 to 30,000 people. So that started a change in the agarbatti industry. Then after that, we were not happy with the 20 kgs a day. We said, let's mechanize this entire thing, motorize this machine. We used motors to do it. Now it is going up to 50, 60 kgs a day. So the ladies' earning potential for a day used to be about, say, 20 rupees. Now it's almost about 200 rupees. So which is reasonably good for a lady to have it as a second income to support her family. So this is something which we thought, which will never happen, has changed. So the thing is, there are several speed breakers in our life. Don't get caught and wait and say, oh my God, I lost the game. They are only stepping stones. So the other interesting thing, what I want to tell you was, when we started this agarbatti rolling centers across the country, once we had one, we got an invitation. You must have heard about Sri Ravishankar, Art of Living Foundation. So he invited us to set up a unit there in Bangalore. So when I went there to inaugurate the unit, there was a lot of press, and we had to give a lot of interviews and all. After the whole thing was over, somebody came and asked me, would you like to meet Guruji, Sri Ravishankar? I said, sure, having come all the way, I'd like to meet him. So I went there. I was first introduced as, my name is Rajkaran. So he said, are you from Andhra Pradesh or Tamil Nadu? I said, I'm from Tamil Nadu. So he said, he's from Tamil Nadu. He said, I can talk to you in Tamil. I said, sure, sir, you can talk. Then he said, then the next line of introduction was, he's from ITC. His eyes, as it is big, popped up. He said, what is the cigarette guy company coming and doing in my ashram? Okay. Then I said, immediately somebody intervened and said, no, he's the CEO for the agarbatti business they are just starting. So he retorted and said, oh, It's so glad that you came here. Let God bless you from one smoke to holy smoke. So, so like this, there are many anecdotes which you can keep talking. So the employment opportunity today is for several. Then over a period of time, I also started. I took over as the managing director of the matches company called Vimco. There were a lot of issues in the factory. They were not, I took a grand plan to, to rationalize most of the facilities and then start everything through the outsourced model. It's from Sivakasi. So between, as I told you, between Agarbatti and matches today, we do over 1,000 crores. And it's all done without one factory owned by ITC, which means they have about 50, 60 factories which are producing the branch of ITC. So these are all certain myths which we thought you can only produce or only market, large companies can produce and market only if you have a large factory in your own. That's all not right. So therefore, these are certain myths which got blown away. So now having done this, the brand, I'm sure you heard about this Agarbatti brand called Mangaldeep, right? So we did a lot to promote the brand. So now you may think, why am I talking about brand to you? The most important thing is, be it a company, a brand, or your own self, the ability to build your own brand is the most important thing. So how you do several things and how you project yourself is the most important thing in your career and in your life. Don't forget it. Okay, now I'm going to give you a few tips, a few learning points. The first one I call is RED. Be responsive, have an eye for details, and be deadline oriented. So RED, so that's the first thing. Second is, don't be a polar manager. What is polar manager? Manager with least resistance. Don't take the route of least resistance. You'll get quick results, but you won't be lasting. Then, don't be a speed breaker. Be a stepping stone. Don't be a procrastinator. You all know what procrastination means. Procrastination means not taking the decision. It doesn't mean you want to take the decision any time. Okay. Then you have, don't be a showstopper. What is a showstopper? If something good is happening in your own family life or in something, or in your friend or colleague, don't stop the good thing. Allow that to happen and let happen. And last point, which is at least, not the least, never have the fear of failure. Unless you try, unless you test out the waters, you'll never know where you're going to win. So I think these are some of the things which I wanted to share with you. Some of the so what am I doing now? I retired in 2018. After that, I got certified as a leadership coach. I'm a leadership coach. I'm a mentor at IIT Madras, as Nina had said. And I'm also, there is never late. At the age of 61 or 62, I started a company and I'm running a consultancy. So it's never late to start anything interesting as long as you're committed to it. So, and what else do? I meet friends and have a good time. So this is broadly what I want to talk to you about. And it's come to a time where we have to give back. We are starting a new initiative in Business Clinique where we're going to have complementary mentoring. I'll share the details with Nina and others. You can always contact us in case you need any challenges to be discussed. Well, that's all I need to speak. Can we have the lights on? Can I see them? Or go ahead. You can ask me any questions. Or you okay, Nina? Time?
Check this.
Can the lights in the auditorium be Yeah, that's better. Thank you. Are there any questions? If there are no questions, I can say bye to you. Okay. Yeah, Nina, please.
So you have been the CEO. You have been the CEO of, a dramatic division and etc. What has been your most difficult period, task or most difficult decision that you've taken? And what has been a decision that you took that has stood with you and with you all these times?
Yeah, I think it's a good question. There's something just called as changing doubt to belief. In your personal life and in your professional career, there are many people who feel that what you're planning to do is not possible. So changing the doubt to belief was my biggest challenge. And if you are consistent and if you are persistent in that approach, I think you can. I think that is one thing which I believe, saying that I'm ready to take on objections. In the sense, shoot, let me deal with that. I think be happy in the sense, don't get dejected if there are any opinions contradicting your life, your way of thinking. And similarly, let me tell you, what happened was, and this is a very interesting incident which happened in the agarbatti business. Once we decided to launch agarbattis, ITC is into various products, and the distributor sells all the products. Okay, he carries all the products to the retail shop. So one objection came from one of the directors. He said, if we get into the agarbatti business, he'll have to carry it along with biscuits, chocolates, and soaps and all, and everything will smell of like agarbatti. He said, how do you deal with this? So I said, it's a fantastic objection. How do I deal with this? So since I was from the packaging business, I thought about it. I said, I didn't give a solution immediately. I said, let me think about it and come back. So for example, you create a pause between the stimulus and response. Don't answer immediately. That's another learning I had. So what happened was, I said, then after that, being in the packaging business, I knew there were modern packaging which was developed, which can contain the fragrance and which can help it move along with the other products. So then we launched Mangaldeep with the fragrance-locked packaging. So I thought we won the battle, we are ready to go. But then what happened was, the sales guys came and told me, sir, all the agarbattis are smelling, sir, nicely, but ours, nobody can get the smell. How will we sell? See, this is what, I said, yeah, again, it's a fantastic point, what you said. So then what we did was, I don't have, otherwise I would have showed you the television serial. We brought out an advertisement about, here comes Mangaldeep agarbattis, which are untouched and unsmelt, which is the purest form of your offering to God. So that really clicked. Have I answered your question partly at least? Yeah. Ask any question, doesn't matter.
Yeah. Can I have a question?
Yeah.
Krishnan here.
Yeah, Krishnan.
Yeah. So I see many youngsters in the audience, and I'm sure they are budding entrepreneurs as well. I felt that it would be helpful, since you have come or grown out of such a fantastic organization as ITC. Would it be possible for you to share with the youngsters here particularly of how values and culture in ITC shaped you as an youngster?
Yeah.
And brought out the best in you, over time? If you feel this question is apt to be
addressed. Yeah, sure. It's a good question. See, I think the most important thing when you're working for somebody else or working for your own self, the core values, what you should adopt is, number one, be true to yourself. Be true to yourself. Do not, in the sense, if you talk something which is not true, you got to say 10 more lies to cover it. That thing, in the sense, better to face it up front. Second thing is I used to respect 2-3 things. One is knowledge. Second is the way the age, and the third is integrity. Okay, I want to narrate this. Krishna, thanks for bringing the point. Once I remember when I was heading the operations in Baroda, one person who was supplying a particular thing, he could not supply to our wing because his product was not getting approved. And suddenly one day, our production guy calls her, the final sample has got approved, so therefore, I think we can go ahead. I said, that's good news, because we also wanted an alternate supplier for the same product what he was doing. So this old man, he after the production, met the production guys, he came rushing to the office to meet me, because I was heading the business. Okay, he came to my office and said, thank you very much, I'm so happy that, this happened. And then you won't believe it, he gave me a bundle full of currency. He said, this is a gift I'm giving you for making this work. I looked at him, I said, why are you doing this to me? Then I said, please sit. I called everybody who was sitting in my office to come to my office. And then the accounting guys, the commercial guys, the marketing guys, I said, here is Mr. So-and-so. I'm not using the name because I don't want you to get asked aspersions about the person. I said, here is a man. He was about 65. I would have been about 38 that time. Okay. He said, here is a person. He said, I'm very happy to tell you his product has got approved, but we're not going to use it. He said, why? I said, this is what he has offered me. So much of money, cash. All the guys were stunned. They were asking me, sir, I said, look here. I told this man, I said, you've got age, you've got knowledge, but you don't have integrity. You're trying to spoil me. The reason why I called everybody around to demonstrate this thing was to say, if this man can do it to me, he can do to every one of you. I think, these are certain values which you should keep for yourself, write down, saying that you will not cross the line on certain matters. That's one thing, Krishna, I hope I have touched upon it. And also, when you are in a situation of meeting somebody or trying to get your point across, don't be in a hurry to put down the other person. You can win on your own. You don't need to kill another person to win. I think that's another important thing you guys, small youngsters, should know. Be happy with your own strengths. Build on your strengths. Okay? Yeah. Any questions from the youngsters? Yeah, okay. Last question. One question. Yeah? You have a question? Yeah, go ahead, please.
Hello sir, this is Priyadashni from Cognizant.
Talk a bit loudly.
Hello sir, this is Priyadashni from Cognizant College sir. How will we promote our product sir? Can you give some point to promote sir? Promote our brand sir.
Promote our brand, yes, right? Sir. Yeah, okay. Promoting a brand, if it's a consumer product, hundreds of ways of doing it. Today, social media is the thing, and then followed by television advertising, radio advertising. See, most important thing, there is a 3-word in making your product acceptable. First is create awareness. First is, the person should know that your product is alive and kicking in the retail shelf. The second is trials. You have to induce the customer to try out your product. That is trials. You will have to do free sampling, or you have to give offers to help them try it out. And the last thing is you should make them repeat the product. So all these are the 3 golden principles of marketing: awareness, trials, and repeats. And the one which supersedes everything is, first, your product should be available in a multitude of outlets. Is that you understood? You can do social media, you can do television, radio, do a combination of everything. But if your product, and it's I'm assuming that you want to launch your own product in your own startup, don't try to become an all-India player. Just try to do it in your own small geography. Succeed there, and then spread slowly. Okay? Yeah. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Rajkaran shared his insights, experience and expertise with the audience. Thank you so much, sir. Now, may I call upon Mr. S. Vijayan to introduce and welcome our second speaker, Professor T.R Govindarajan.
So, welcome you all. So, Professor T.R Govindarajan, so fondly called as TRG. He has studied in Chennai, earlier known as Madras, for his physics masters in Madras Christian College. He later did his doctoral program in theoretical physics in Madras University, India. After a stint research associate in the prestigious IIT Kanpur, he joined as assistant professor at Loyola College, Chennai. During this period, he was visiting professors at Texas University, Austin, Syracuse University, New York, and International Center for Theoretical Physics, Trieste, Italy. Later, he joined the Institute of Mathematical Sciences, Chennai, an autonomous research center by the Department of Atomic Energy. He has visited as invited professor several countries like Brazil, Ireland, Germany, Italy, Spain, UK, and Poland. His interests are in quantum theory, quantum field theory, and high energy physics, string theory, non-commutative geometry, topological and differential geometric applications in physics, knot theory, and black hole physics. He has published more than 100 publications in his theoretical physics and mathematics. He was also the founder member of Tamil Nadu Science Forum, for which I was closely associated with, involved in popularizing the science to schools and colleges, students, as well as the common people. He also served as the secretary and vice president of Madras chapter of Indian Physics Association. He was in the advisory group for theoretical physics of S.N. Bose Institute, Calcutta, and is currently an editor of journal Physics Education of Indian Association of Physics Teachers. He served as the dean in the Homi Bhabha National Institute at IMSC. He served as in Chennai Mathematical Institute as the adjunct professor for a decade. Now he is visiting professor at Korea University, Sri City. I met you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Nina. I'm very happy to students. I'm not an entrepreneur. My background is only science. So I just want to know how many of the students are having science background. Any science. Can you raise your hand if you have? Not bad. In fact, I'm very happy that so many students are there with science background. Okay, so if that is the case, then my job is half done. Because I'm not going to make remarks about how to become a big business or a thing. I would like to make some remarks even about science. We have to be very careful and learn everything from scratch and very well also. Now, so I can use this. can see the, can you see the screen? Okay. I hope, I will also read some of those things. The reason why I'm talking about ancient science is we have been flooded with various claims of what has been achieved in ancient India. Unfortunately, many of the claims which are made are not the real achievements. The real achievements are some of them I'm going to mention, and most of it, even the names don't appear in our textbooks, and I'll probably mention some of them. Now, we have claimed that we are familiar with plastic surgery, Vimana Shastra, nuclear weapons, surrogate motherhood, medicines bringing back youth. I don't know how many of you have read Mahabharata. So this Yayati, if you have learned the story of Yayati, and he came back young. Well, I hope I can do it. I'm old enough, I'm retired. I would like to go back to my 20-year-old situation. Unfortunately, I cannot. And a major political personality, I don't want to name, claimed that in Indian Science Congress, that Ganesha's head being elephant is great plastic surgery, medical miracle. And of course, our head size is only some 10 centimeter in diameter, but head of an elephant is about 2 feet or 1.5 feet. I don't know how that will match. Doesn't matter. And we also heard stories of Ramayana, where Ravana took Pushpak Viman and various things, and people claimed they're all part of aerodynamics. Now, of course, these are all interesting mythological stories. And if it is mythological stories, we would enjoy it. I would like to enjoy it. I myself enjoyed a lot of them. But it doesn't stop there. Some of our leading research institutions, heads, also make some outlandish claims. And one such is very nearby. The person said that if you want to be cured of any disease, any health problems, drink a glass of urine, cow's urine, you will be fine. And he even tried to back it up with some research papers. I don't know. Then there is this IIT Bombay. I'm referring to outstanding institutions. Great work is being done in all these institutions, without doubt. But in IIT Bombay, a collective recently held a conference on Garbha Vigyan conference, which is the science of begetting genius progeny. I don't know how they do it. And there is this director of IIT Mandi, which is in Haryana. He claimed that ghosts exist. And he even made a video which claimed in 1993, and that too in Chennai, he drove out evil spirits from his friend's house by chanting mantras inspired by Bhagavad. This is what actually is there in YouTube. If it is an ordinary person, I would have ignored, but he is the director of an IIT. And this is the kind of a thing. And IIT Kharagpur brings out a calendar every year through their Indian knowledge system department with absurd claims based on mythology. Mythology is very, very interesting. I like it. I love it. I have been reading a lot of stories in Mahabharata and also Ramayana and Kanda Puranam. All those things I have been reading and I enjoyed it. But I should treat it as a mythological stories. We also have stories from Greece. We also have stories from Roman literature, Persia, etc. But they are all mythological stories and we should treat them as such. Now, our own successful space program is very successful. But what do? Every time they launch a vehicle, they take a model of that to the nearby temple, the great temple, good Lord, to bless them with success in their program. I don't know how these things do help. Some of them fail and some of them are successful. You don't blame the Lord for that. Please learn from that. And former chairman of ISRO even claimed our Vedic science went out and came back several thousand years later as Western science. This is what he actually claimed. Now, these are all mythologies, and we should enjoy, as I tell you, the beautiful stories of mythological stories and appreciate the imagination. Like, for example, we now watch science fiction movies and interstellar, gravity, various things. They talk about people going in outer space. They are very nice, beautiful, but if you think that they have already been achieved, we are wrong. That's what we have to be careful. Jayant Narlikar, a former director of Inter-University Center for Astronomy and Astrophysics, said mythical literature written by several people with insertion should be treated as myths and should not believe that they are true, but they are very interesting. Now, similar myths were there among Romans, Greeks, Persians, and Chinese, etc. But there are real people. These are, I'm just to step out of the mythological part. There are real science people like Archimedes, Aristotle, Pythagoras, Euclid, Zeno, Al-Khwarizmi, Al-Razi, Ibn al-Haytham. These are all from outside. Now we also had fantastic people. I don't know how many of you have heard of Aryabhatta, Brahmagupta, Varahabhira, Bhaskara, Madhava, Nilakanta, to list some of them. In the last 1,000 years or 1,500 years. Great mathematicians, great astronomers, they have founded extraordinary things, and I'm going to label some of them. For the benefit of students, I'm going to leave out, at the end of the day, 1 or 2 unsolved problems, which you can attempt. If you are interested in the history of science, and also science, you can attempt some of them. So this is what is going to be my theme. So I don't know how many of you have heard of these names, Aryabhatta, Brahmagupta. Have you heard of it? Students? Have you heard of it? Yes or no? Okay, great. Some of you at least have heard of it. My only concern is it should be part of the textbooks, school textbooks, because they did achieve something extraordinary. So that is going to be mine. So can I change the slides? Next one. I gave this talk about a year back in my own institution, and I did give some of these things, so I'm reusing some of them. Okay, so I don't know whether any of you can identify this particular temple. Can anyone? Identify this particular temple? Where is it? Ah, fantastic. I'm very impressed with the students. It's Gangaikonda Solapuram near Kumbakonam. It was built by Rajendra Cholan. It's not Rajaraja Cholan, Rajendra Cholan, Rajaraja Cholan's son, who built this fantastic temple. It is almost similar to Bragadiswara temple in Tanjore, but there are differences. Now look at the imagination of constructing such temples. The amount of things. So who built it? If I ask you, what is it, you will tell? Oh, it was built by Rajendra Cholan. But what did he do? He gave money. He gave land, he gave money. But there should be an architect. There should be several engineers who sit with some, because in those days paper were not there, they will probably do on sand some kind of a diagram to build this thing and then do that. Why is it we are not even hearing about them? They are the real people who have achieved something, and I'm going to focus on that. So this is what I mentioned earlier, and important thing is the last line here. There are several unanswered questions, and I'm going to leave a couple of questions, and probably one of you may solve that. Okay. I'll go straight, since my time is limited, I will go straight to this thing. the real issue. This is what I already mentioned. Okay. So, one of the things which is claimed is Pythagoras' theorem. Okay. Pythagoras' theorem has Vedic roots. This is one of the Karnataka panel people did say that. What is it? They're claiming, actually Pythagoras' theorem, unfortunately Pythagoras did not prove it. He only stated it. It was proven by Euclid. Now in India, it is claimed that it was mentioned in Sulva Sutra, few centuries before it. This is in 500 BC and 800 before Christ. These statements are true. It is mentioned in Sulva Sutra, but there is no proof in it. Absolutely no proof in it. Now it is needed such a theorem. I don't know, many of you must be aware of Pythagoras' theorem, right? The square of the sides add up to the hypotenuse square. That's what is the thing. Now it is needed when they construct altars, sacrificial altars, and then they have to have exact measurements, obeying some rules. And Pythagoras' theorem, practically like 3 feet, 4 feet by 5 feet, you will have a rectangle triangle. This is what was used. Similar things were there. Okay. Now the question is, was it discovered in India? No, it is stated again, like Pythagoras, it was stated again in India, but not proven. Now where was it proven? It was proven 200 years before all these things in a Chinese, and this is what the thing. Okay, let me try it. So, 1800 BCE, Mesopotamia provided records of this thing. First proof was not due to Euclid, but 200 years before that in China. First Indian proof was given by a mathematician in 1200 AD by Rajkaran. And what is that statement here? And I will show you. Oh, sorry, I'm going back. So this is the diagram. It's actually there in a stone. And the diagram, if many of you have seen this, you will see actually they are proving the theorem by only arrangement of various stones there. If any of you want to know how this is the theorem proof, I will tell you privately later after the lecture. Okay. And of course, in Tamil, we are not far behind. There is a fake poetry that was created. So the fake poetry essentially gives some kind of remarks about adding length and then side to get the hypotenuse. But unfortunately, that is not also true. This is a fake claim. This is a fake claim, and we have to be careful about such moral is, don't believe if anyone creates a Sanskrit sloka or Tamil poetry claiming it to be Purananuru or some Sulva Sutra, something like that, and then claim that that is the real thing. It is not, may not be true. It is locally created by our own people. So this is what you have to be careful. This is a lesson for the students. Go to the original source. Where is it coming from? And that is the way the science progresses. Okay. Now the zero on the place value is always associated with India discovered. But actually it was known to many other civilizations also, Persia, China, and many other things. We have also used it. There is no doubt about it, but it was there in many other places, including Greece. Okay, now I'm going to start with some of the achievements, since I'm only criticizing. And The first person I'm going to talk about is Aryabhatta. So this Ayuka which I have written is actually an astronomy center in Pune. And they have created this kind of an imaginary statue to honor Aryabhatta. What an extraordinary, he lived around 400 AD or CE. He had written a book which is called Aryabhattiya. And that thing gives so many things about geometry, algebraic equations, and also astronomy. He has created the sine functions, cos functions, and then values for them in a systematic way. And this book, Aryabhattiya, where people have talked about, is very interesting. And of course, these are all written in palm leaves. They won't survive for many years. So the next generation essentially copies the original palm leaf and make a new copy. It's only Xerox copy. And probably they will write their own explanations for that. And only through this kind of arrangement we have got copies of what Aryabhatta talked about. Okay. What are the important things which he did? I will mention one or two. Now the first thing which he said was what he said was that Earth is rotating about itself. Earth is rotating about itself. It was he who said that, because after all what you see is the stars are going around. The moon is here and the moon after midnight it goes to some other place. From there he was able to say that Earth is rotating, it's not they, planets and others are going around. This is what the first important thing. And the most important thing which he said is when you go to a temple, you are asked to go around the Navagraha. And if you ask any of them, they will tell Sun, Suryan, Chandran, they are not Graha. They are all, Suryan is a, Sun is a star. Moon is a Upagraha. And it is only Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday and Saturday. These 5 are the things. But they have also included 2 other planets, which is called Rahu and Ketu. But unfortunately, they should realize that there is no such planets. There is no Rahu and Ketu planets. They are all points. They are all created for the purpose of explaining eclipses in the astronomical thing. And Aryabhatta was the person who said that they are all not, Rahu and Ketu are not planets. They are only shadow planets. They call it as shadow planets to explain the eclipses. So this is the most important work. But since he was going against the tradition, he suffered. He didn't get a job. He should become for his knowledge of astronomy, and I think he should have become a big shot, but unfortunately he had to move from one place to another place and he had to settle down in some place. There is another person called Brahmagupta who lived in 600 AD, and he had also written thing. And of course, like in our institutions, there is rivalry between professors. Like that, there is rivalry between Brahmagupta and Aryabhatta. And he even said that since Aryabhatta knows nothing about mathematics, I will not mention about his demerits. But Brahmagupta is a very, very interesting mathematics person and astronomer. He wrote this particular equation, which is there. I hope nx square plus is equal to y square plus 1. I will mention something about it. Just towards, wait for a few more minutes. So this is Aryabhatta. Then there is another person called Bhaskara, who lived about 1000 years back, 1115. He was born. And he has written this in his own biography. And he had written several books, not one or two. And Surya Siddhanta Shiromani, Leelavati, Bijaganita, these are all some of the books which he has written. Outstanding books. We don't even know anything about them. Our students don't know anything about many of the things written by our own mathematics giants who lived in this place. Okay. Sorry. So this is the thing. He also introduced the thing, a zero, and he said, explained it what it does, but the only thing is he felt when you divide, if you multiply 0 by anything, it is only 0. But what happens if you divide by 0? He was not able to answer. He called it Vishnu. That's what he said. Very interesting. And he also gave that equation. Some of you, if you have some mathematics background, will realize what he is giving is calculus. The calculus ideas were introduced, the precursor of calculus was introduced by Rajkaran some 400 years before Isaac Newton. We claim Isaac Newton discovered calculus. Leibniz discovered calculus. These are associations which we have 400 years before the rudimentary ideas of calculus were introduced by Rajkaran. This is basically the thing. Okay. So now I am going to the most important school, very, very nearby. It's in Kerala, in a place called Sangama Grama, which is at the bottom, or another current name is Irinjalaguda. It's in Kerala. There was a mathematics school existing from 1350 to for nearly 150 years, first started by a person called Madhva. Outstanding mathematician. He even gave the theories of solar system. He gave the theories of infinite series of functions, etc., etc. And again, he gave some equations which were discovered in the West some 500 years later. This is the real truth about his work. There is a fantastic book called Yukti Bhasha, written at that time in Malayalam. And that made people don't have to learn Sanskrit to learn mathematics, which was earlier the tradition, but it became a common man's language. Okay. So this is the kind of work which was there. Now I am coming to okay. So I told you this equation, something like this. If I ask you to find out for the 61x square plus 1 is equal to y square, this equation, some of you will know mathematics. X and y are integers. If I ask you to find out the number x and y which satisfies that equation, it was given by Brahmagupta. What is it you will try? You will try 2 or 3 numbers by trial and error. You will never succeed. Because the first solution is a 10-digit number for x and a 12-digit number for y. This is the kind of a thing which was there, and that man was able to solve this kind of a thing. Why do I mention this is, the same equation which was given by Brahmagupta in 600 AD was written by 1000 years later by a mathematician called Pell in 1700 AD in Europe, and now people have started calling it as Pell's equation. It was called Pell's equation. I went and complained to some of the mathematics people when I went abroad, and they realized that it is true. It is there already, 1000 years before. So the current name given by International Mathematical Society for this equation is Brahmagupta-Pell equation. This is what they have done. So we have to recognize our own people who have done extraordinary work instead of talking about methodological achievements. Okay, that's what is my point about this. Okay. Now I'm going to mention 2 things for which I don't have answers, and it is outstanding problems, and you can understand. It's not very difficult, but you may find the solutions. If you are well versed in history, if you are well versed in Tamil literature, if you are well versed in maybe Malayalam or Kannada literature, etc. What is it? Okay. There was a supernova, some explosion in the sky in the year 1054. The year is 1054, which is called Crab Nebula. It's a something happens in the sky. It was so powerful, like Venus, brighter than Venus. It was visible to what you call naked eye in the evening sky about 6 o'clock, 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock. You can see it. It was brighter than Venus. How many days you can see? It was visible like that for 20 days in the year 1054. For night sky, it was visible for another 2 years. It is recorded in the Chinese books, astronomy books. It's recorded in Japanese diary. It is recorded in Persian. It is recorded even in Americas, the old things. Now, don't forget 1000 AD is extraordinary time for Indian astronomy and mathematics. Is there any record in Indian mathematical or astronomical write-ups? Unfortunately, there is nothing, absolutely nothing. So people have tried to look into Sanskrit literature by same Jayant Narlikar with Bandharikar Institute in Pune. He went through several Sanskrit literature and found there is no answer. It's not even mentioned. But such an extraordinary event, it's not a small event. It's much more than this thing, but it was there. You can ask the question, why is it people have not written? Now, my only desire, and in fact I tried to find out, don't forget 1054 is the time when Cholas were running the whole South India. Extraordinary culture, extraordinary wealth. They were building temples. They were great in the navy also. They had good ships. They were looking at the skies to find out where the ships can go. All those things they had. Is it there in Tamil literature? I don't know the answer. Many of you, the students here, may want to look into the Tamil astronomy to find out if there is a mention in this. It's an unsolved question. We have an unsolved question, and I wish some of you take it up. Okay. This is the current status of the same Crab Nebula. Now we can see with telescopes, NASA telescopes, etc. And we know from that size of that what should have been the size in 1054. Physics has gone to, astronomy has gone to that level. What should have been the size? What should have been the brightness? How it must have been there in 1054. And it agrees with what Chinese have written. It agrees with Japanese have written. Why is it in India it is not written anywhere? That is an outstanding question. Okay. Next question is, I'm going to skip some of them. So, this Crab Nebula in India, people have tried to associate with Nataraja, Chidambaram. They said that he's pointing towards the place where Crab Nebula is there. And one of my friends, who is an astronomer, etc., did write an article about that. Unfortunately, it is not true, because the Nataraja dance, which is there, is even earlier than this period. It was a kind of a victory dance by Pallavas and Cholas. Whenever they won the war, they used to dance like this. Like the way whenever cricket we win, we dance. Like that they were dancing. So this is the kind of a thing. Okay. So next question. So next question is, we know there is a fantastic temple in 1000 AD, 1100. There are a lot of temples built in Tanjavur, to Nagapatnam. Those areas are fertile area. Kaveri is the greatest success, great thing, because it was producing Ponniyin Selvan. Some of you might have seen the movie. So much wealth was there. And they were also able to rule over Sri Lanka. They were able to go to Gadaram. They were able to go to Indonesia. All those things. And the temple in 1050s, 1020s or so, was built by Rajarajasoran in Tanjore, which is called Bragadiswara Temple. It's an outstanding temple. There is no doubt about it. Who built it? Rajarajasoran. But he only gave money and land. Who is the architect? Who is the engineer? Who are those people who designed it? How was it built? What is the structure of that? Unfortunately, we don't know. And so this is the Bragadiswara temple. similar to your first temple which I showed. Okay, so if there are so many temples, if you have been from Tanjore area, you realize that there is a temple for each planet. Each planet there is a temple. So much interest in astronomy is there, but we don't know whether there was a school of architecture, school of engineering which teaches people, because it requires hundreds and hundreds of people to start building that with knowledge. It's not simple, trivial knowledge. You have to build that. So this is the kind of a thing, and we don't even have a data on that. And we should look for such data in our own circles. Okay. So I'm going to stop now. I took some of the material from various places, sources, and I left you with some unsolved questions, 2 questions at least. And I hope this gives you that great mathematics, great knowledge was there in many places in India, particularly even in South India. And what we know is only tip of the iceberg, top level. And was there a school? Was there systematic teaching of many of these things? How people learnt, how they communicated all their knowledge, instead of only talking about mythological stories. And I'll stop here, and I'm looking forward to discussing with the students. Thank you very much. If anyone wants to ask questions, please feel free. Jump on me. See, I always tell the students, don't be afraid of teachers. You have to ask questions. Put the teachers in difficult situation by asking a very, very difficult question. So, it's your chance now.
Sir,
yes.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes.
What's the difference between the astrology and astronomy, sir?
Okay. The difference is astrology. Astronomy is what happens in the sky with the planets and other things. There is some assumption. Those planets and other stellar objects which is there affect our behavior, our movement, etc. And there is absolutely no evidence for any of this. So, to that extent, astrology is a mythical remark, which people may believe, people follow it, but generally there is no scientific evidence for that. And in fact, there is scientific evidence against it. Jayant Narlikar, I mentioned, he wanted to find out whether there is any truth in this thing. So he collected, like the way we do science, he collected some 500 horoscopes and another 500 fake ones, gave it to several astrologers to tell them, predict them, what they are doing, etc., to find out whether there is any correlation. Absolutely zero correlation. In fact, some fellows who were murderers, that horoscope, some of the astronomers were predicting that he must be a great guy, he must be a great scientist, he must be a great engineer. Some such things were also there. So it looks like, to the best of my knowledge, there is no absolute link between the basis of astrology, that they affect us in our social and other behaviors, our success, like any of these things. There is no such thing. Well, okay? Please, students, don't hesitate to ask. Yes. There is one bold lady.
Thank you.
Yes.
Hi, sir. In the first part of your lecture, you talked a bit about how politicians of the day and leaders try to bring up a certain narrative that talks about a gloried past. I was wondering about your thoughts and comments on the next generation who are growing up with a lot of social media, with a lot of influence in this fake or this whole narrative that is being peddled. And I was wondering what you would advise the coming generations about to combat this misinformation trend that is going on.
Thank you for asking that question. See, I belong to an organization called Tamil Nadu Science Forum. We want to popularize science. We have to start thinking rationally. We have to start thinking scientifically. Even common man, you need not be a scientist. You have to follow certain minimum things which are required. Unfortunately, the propaganda machinery of whoever is doing is such that this message is not going into the sections. And whoever makes such things like Narendra Dabolkar or many of these people, they are getting attacked by some vested interest. And we have committed in our constitution for scientific rational thinking in the constitution itself. So it is the duty of the government, or it is the duty of the center and state governments to take the message of science and rational thinking so that people slowly become better and better. Now, I don't want to get into difficulties in association with common man's belief system, etc. I don't have a problem. Anything one can do. But don't be cheated by some of these charlatans who are there, who come and propagate various things that if you do this, if you do this kind of a pariharam or something like that, you will become better, your business will grow. All those things will not happen. You have to, if your business has to prosper, you have to do something about it. Not by worshipping some fellow who does some puja here, some puja there, etc. will not help. So you have to be careful about it. At least don't be cheated by some of those fellows. That is very, very crucial. Now, if you have faith, if you want to go to temple, if you want to practice anything, there's absolutely nothing wrong. It's so personal. These are very, very personal systems. And people can do that. But don't fall for many of the supernatural claims which are there, which is helping people by any of the practices. So we have to be careful about that. That's what we would like to, without affecting thinking of several sections of society.
Any more questions? Any more questions?
Yeah, here.
So let us have the last question.
Hello sir, I am Noor Jahan from Qaidimlet Government College for Women. My question is how to identify the myth and truth by students ourselves?
Okay, that's a very, very important question, difficult question. So some myths are very easy to understand. It's almost written there. Something like if somebody says that Ganesha is plastic surgery. No, it doesn't match. As I told you, 10 centimeter head and elephant's head is some 2 feet. Okay, cannot fit in there. Okay, so there are several myths of that kind which is easy to understand. But there are several other myths which may sound like science. Okay, somebody claimed to me if the satellites pass by near that Shanishwaran temple in near Pondicherry or something, the satellite can never stop there or be there. It is not true at all. Some such random claims will be made. If you ask them, where is the proof? Where is the source? Have you ever done any such thing? Have you ever been asked to do it? Answer will be no. So several such things will be there. If you ask for the original source from where things are coming, it's not WhatsApp University which will provide the sources. They will never do that. They will claim some IIT professor said this, some NASA scientist said this, some Western scientist fellow said this, etc. And there might have been true also. When you go and check what has been said, you will find that many of them are fake easily. And I myself have found, and we have been writing, and it is better to be associated at the level with all sections of scientific community so that you really follow what is happening in the modern developments. If we do not follow the modern developments in science and technology with the artificial intelligence, machine learning, deep learning, etc., some of I myself was involved, you will be left out. You will be left out. There will be people who will be going and you will become like a, you should, I don't want to say that it is a thing. Better be aware of some of those things which are more important than mythological stories. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Your beautiful presentation and talk about the ancient contributions of eminent scholars like Aryabhatta, Brahmagupta, Bhaskara, Madhava, and everyone was wonderful. Thank you so much, sir. I request you to stay back on the stage. Now, I would like to call upon all the participants of the question answer session onto the stage, and I request Raju sir to come onto the stage to distribute the prize for them. Participants of the question answer session, please come onto the stage. So here we have the first participant. What's your name? Yavana. Okay. Okay, students. Please come. What's your name? What's your name? Thank you, sir.
We have reached the concluding part of the program, and now it is time for vote of thanks. We extend our heartfelt thanks to everyone involved in making this program a resounding success. We express our deepest gratitude to the Directorate of Public Libraries, Anna Centenary Library, and ACE Innovation for their unwavering support and collaboration. Our sincere appreciation goes to our esteemed speakers, Mr. Rajkaran and Professor Govindarajan, for sharing their invaluable insights and expertise. We also extend our thanks to Kalvi TV and the ACL IT team for the media support. We thank Qaida Millet College staff and students for having come for this program. We thank the ACL team and the audience for making this program memorable and successful. Thank you all. After the national anthem, we'll be having the photo session with the speakers. So, let us all raise for the national anthem.
जनगणमन अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड उत्कल बंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्चल जलधि तरंगा तव शुभ नामे जाहे तव शुभ आशीष माहे गाहे तव जय गाथा जनगण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे.
Thank you all, and please come onto the stage for the photo session. Students, please come onto the stage for the photo session. We request our speaker to come onto the stage for the photograph. All the college students are requested to come onto the stage for the photo session.